Yeah, my girl. All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. I gotta show you guys this. I don't know how much memory I've got left on my camera here, but hopefully enough to show you. Okay, so the truck, all the cables are kind of sitting in there, right? And I need to put, of course, the wind would just start as soon as that. So there's a new cable hanging there. There's the old cable hanging there. And why is it hanging there? Well, I'll tell you why it's hanging there. It ain't got no cable tensioner on it. That's why it's hanging there. So I gotta show you what's been holding this truck up another day. This nut. This nut is some sort of a lock tightening nut that it can't be backed off. And I don't know if this is a number 3 thread. This is the old tensioner. You can see it's toasted. And look, I've actually bent it by trying to undo it. This little bit, backing the nut up from here to there, took me almost an hour just to do that. And the thing's normally like about that long. The new one's in there. But I got to show you how. It's a 13 millimeter nut, if you're wondering. But let me show you where I'm at. Okay. Sometimes, you just got to be handsome while you're doing stuff, right? So when this thing comes out, you know it's serious. It's almost as serious as when Thor comes out. But this time, this wasn't a job for Thor. This was a job for the Mighty Grinder. Better watch out, that's still plugged in. But I just want to show you how strong that nut is on this bolt. So I don't know what thread pitch it is. I can tell you the bolt's a 13, is a 13. But you can see where I cut it with the grinder. We'll get it right in the sun here so you can see it really good. So you can see where I cut it with the grinder, right? That still won't back off. It still won't give up. That nut is impossible, next to impossible to loosen, which makes sense because this is your brake tensioner. So brake cable goes in here, other brake cable goes in there, as you can see. And then when it's, but I need it out to about here to start, and like tightening it's going to be as much of a pain in the ass, I think, as anything. But as long as it's on there and it works, not so bad. But I had to cut it out, so I'm gonna have to cut the nut on the other side. So again, you can see I cut it here, right? And I'm gonna have to cut it on the back side just to get the nut to break apart. That's how much of a grip it has. I tried it. Like you'll twist it like this, trying to twist off. What I did was the nut was right. That's where the nut made it to. This nut here. So I'm salvaging the nut from the old tensioner, and you can't really see it, but there's like a nylon, whatever. I'm going to clean this out. You can see there's like a reddish kind of rusted out maybe piece of nylon or whatever. And I don't know if there's like why it won't back out, like what differences in the threads. Like there must be some sort of a catch thread on there that and you can feel it, like it slips. It doesn't seem to strip it, but it slips. And I mean, I'm my full body weight just to get it to move a little bit. You can see I sort of stripped the nut a bit. But going on, it's not so bad. It's still tough because it's a number 3 thread, and a number 1 thread you can thread on with your hands, and when you crack the nut loose, you can unthread it with your hand, right? A number 2 thread, you're going to need a wrench. A number 3 wrench, you need bionic arms, or you have to just kind of like cut it apart, because like a number 3 thread is designed so that it doesn't back out, right? So I got this nut. It's going to go on this new one, and I only get one kick at this can. If not, this $5 apparatus will turn into 60 or 80 bucks. Why? Because that's what the replacement is. Now, I'm not worried about that little cut I made in this rod. It's plenty strong, and the other side will be fine too. But you get where I'm getting at. Maybe I'll put this one on. This is, I don't know what, this is a Gen 4 Dodge thing. So this is the Gen 3 Dodge thing. So put whichever one on you want. But that's how you reuse your old chain tensioner. Otherwise, or e-brake tensioner. Otherwise, you can't reuse them because you can't back that nut off. Which I understand the safety aspect of that, but it does bring your stress level up when you think it's just a seized nut, and it's not. Like it's design. It's some sort of a lock anti-loosening nut. I don't know what you'd properly call it. I've never encountered one of these little bastards before, and I tell you, trying to unloosen something that's not meant to be loosened, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's do it again. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get it done, and hopefully it'll work, and hopefully I'll have my cables hooked up. And then once this goes in, all the parts I need to this point are in, and then it's just a matter of adjustment. So wish me luck.